Hey everyone. If you're like me, you have a pile of PDFs sitting on your computer, and you're always wondering what to do with them. Well, I want to show you something that I do with my PDFs to make them a little bit more hands-on, and that's by turning them into a booklet, or a little printed version of the book itself. Now, making a booklet is really easy. It's something that you can just do whenever you want. You can even cut out subsections of the PDFs if you just need a small portion. But what I want to do is, as I'm prepping for a DOOMVAULT game, I want to print out the new DOOMVAULT version that Runehammer recently put out and turn it into a booklet that I can take with me, take some notes in, read as I go about my day, and just become more familiar with as before I go into that game. And so what I'm going to do is I have my PDF here, and I'm going to open it in Adobe Reader. It should be a free software, something that you can grab for both Mac and for Windows. And I've just opened it up. And what it allows me to do is when I print, it gives me this option for booklet. And so all I have to do is just set up my printer, hit booklet. It asks me to print on both sides, how many sheets of paper, left to right. I didn't have to make any changes to the settings. It just did it all for me. And then I just hit print. So while that's printing, I just want to point out two ways that you might know that you're into ICRPG. The first is if your significant other gives you a 5-ream office pack of copy paper and you're excited about it because you print so much. And the other reason is if you have to refill your black and red ink more often than your yellow and blue. That's when you know you might be into ICRPG. Now with all that printed, all you need is a paper cutter. Now obviously this is much larger than you actually need. You can use scissors or an X-Acto knife, but I can pilfer my wife's scrapbooking supplies and make it a lot easier for myself. I like to have some foam with me, a stapler, and then obviously your booklet. Now, the first thing that you do when you're making this booklet is you take your PDF, and you get it all nice and lined up, and you take your stapler, open it up to make it nice and flat, and you staple right in the center, going into the middle of the book. So you're stapling from the outside going in. So I'm just going to staple 3 times along the spine of the book, making sure that all of the staplers are within kind of the border of what I printed out. So you should be left with something like that. You just push the staples down, keep them nice and flat. So now they're all bound together, and the foam just helps so that you can just have them nice and open and get them in a lot easier. So then after that, you just want to trim, if you'd like, trim the edges of the PDF or the paper to make them nice and clean. Just do that real quick. Okay, so we've trimmed all the edges, and now what I can do is, because I've stapled it already, everything should be lined up, and I should be able to just fold right along the spine, and you get this nice little booklet all stapled together. So with that all printed out, instead of ending up with something like this, which is still nice but a little bit bulkier, you end up with a nice compact booklet that you can slip in your back pocket, take with you. I've been able to take this one with me over the last week as I've studied out DOOMVAULT and prepped for my game, left my notes and highlighted the areas that I want to focus on. And you're not limited to just doing full little supplements like that. I mean, I've done booklets for my players as handouts, where I've handed out a primer for Alfheim or even Warp Shell with the character creation rules and things that they can refer to. I've done all of my zines, look to your left, as booklets. I've done a Bearcat supplement. This is their player guide along with character creation notes, as well as their character sheet that they can track You've got The Waste is Not Kind, which Epic Sloth Games did as a booklet, the whole Xeno Dead Zone guide, Blood and Snow Player's guide, you know, adventure packs that I can give out to players if they need or are interested, or other friends that might be wanting to know about ICRPG, or other games like Shadow Dark RPG. I printed out the whole supplements as booklets, and they're just been so nice to have something a little bit more hands-on when I can't sit by my computer or have them by my phone, and still use them alongside my journal. So if you're wondering what to do with your PDFs, I highly recommend that you look into making them booklets. Print out a few, try them out, carry them around, and see how it works for you. But I love having both the physical copy and the PDF.